We are the computer science department here at Denmark. We represent the computer science pathway beginning with Intro to Digital Tech, or IDT, AP Computer Science Principles, or AP-CSP, and then finally AP Computer Science A. I am Mrs. Page. I teach IDT and AP-CSP. This is Mr. Kolosna, who teaches the same courses, IDT and AP-CSP, and Mr. Arnold teaches AP-CSA for us. Now, the pathway that I mentioned begins with Introduction to Digital Tech. That is our first level course. Successful completion of that, the students move on into AP Computer Science Principles. Once they've completed AP Computer Science Principles successfully, they move into our completer course, AP Computer Science A. At the conclusion of AP Computer Science A, the students are eligible to take a certification exam. We call it a credential of value. Successful passing of that exam results in a diploma seal from the Georgia Department of Education. I personally am originally from Texas. I was raised in New Jersey. I started my teaching career in North Carolina, and I've been here in Georgia for about the last 7 years. I have a degree in information systems from Catawba College and a master's degree in instructional technology from Appalachian. I've been teaching high school since 2005 and I've taught a variety of classes, the CSA class, as well as game design, programming, digital media, some business courses. Here at Denmark, I teach IDT and AP-CSP. I'm also one of the 5 FBLA advisors. As far as the grading calculations for each of the courses that we teach, they're similar to all of your other courses. So your formative assignments make up 25% of your semester grade. These would be quizzes, classwork, homework, concept checks, those types of assignments. Your summative assignments make up 75% of your semester grade. Those are going to be projects, tests, essays, those types of work. Now, we also are going to be evaluating your students on their work habits. So we're looking for responsibility, participation, interpersonal skills, and assignment completion. The first level course that I mentioned, Introduction to Digital Technology, or IDT, is designed to really get students interested and involved and engaged in computer science. So we really encourage creativity, communication, and problem solving. The major units that we study within the course, we start out with problem solving, as I mentioned. It's really important that students be able to think critically and to problem solve throughout the entire pathway. So we really start with an emphasis on that. We spend a considerable amount of time doing web development as well. So the students are going to have a lot of work with HTML and CSS. When we move into interactive games, they're going to have an opportunity to work with JavaScript. Then we have a design process unit that focuses in on an iterative team project. Then we expand into data and society using binary systems and big data. Then they have an opportunity to actually work with hardware. So we have a physical computing unit so they can combine the hardware and the programming aspects of it. We then wrap up the year with computer networks and software certification for business with Microsoft.
And I'm Mr. Kolosna, as Mrs. Page said earlier. A little bit about me and my background. I grew up in South Florida. I have an engineering degree from the University of Florida, computer engineering. I have 2 master's degrees, one in business and one in computer science. And I worked in industry as a software engineer for 30 years, working for some big companies, NCR, AT&T, and Nortel. Also some medium-sized companies and also some small startups. So I have a lot of experience, and that's one of my goals, is to try to bring that experience into the classroom. Also an FBLA club advisor. I'm going to talk to you about the second course in the pathway, AP Computer Science Principles. As Ms. Page said, she also teaches this course also. This is a college level introductory course into computer science. We assume that you don't have any prior knowledge of programming, so everyone starts at a level playing field. The course covers a lot of the same topics as IDT, but we go at a faster pace and a lot more in depth. We start out with digital information, how data is represented on the computer. The internet unit, we talk about how networks work, how information is transmitted. Units 3 through 8 is when we start getting into all the programming. Our primary language we use is JavaScript. We also have some exercises in Python, which is a little more modern language. But really the focus is not so much on the language, but on the concepts, right? So that you could apply those to any other language that you run into in their careers. Unit 9, we get into data analytics and a little bit into artificial intelligence, just some of the concepts. Unit 10 is cybersecurity and global impacts, which is how computers, the limitations of computers and how they affect society. So as I said, this is an AP class, so you can get college credits if you score well on the AP exam. It has a traditional 70 question multiple choice that's given in May. That's 70% of their grade. The other part is the create performance task, where the students will work, usually early February. They'll work on an original program, and they will submit that to the College Board for their grade, 30% of their grade.
All right, I'm Mr. Arnold. I teach AP-CSA, the third-year course in the computer science pathway, and it is all Java programming all year. And if you go out and look at some of the rankings of programming languages, if you look at TOB or RedMonk or some of the others, you'll see JavaScript, Python, and Java right at the top of any of those lists. So very valuable language to learn. So my education, a little background about me, I started at Georgia Tech in mechanical engineering. While I was there, I worked for IBM. IBM taught me how to program. I worked for them for several years. Studied data science at Harvard, and then I'm back to Georgia Tech pursuing a Master of Science in Analytics. So what we like to do with the industry experience and the education experience is bring some of those projects, some of those things we've actually worked on, where students are working in real data. They're working on real projects that they might see in business. So I worked with Wells Fargo Advisors, AT&T, back when it was Singular Wireless, Siva Vision, and several other companies. So AP Computer Science A, hopefully they get very, very familiar with the tools, the pieces that are required to program. So some of the Boolean expressions, the iteration, the arrays, and these are things that they've been seeing all 3 years. And we're just learning it in a different language. And what I hope they come out of this with is the ability to be multilingual, that no matter what language they go to, no matter what language they encounter in a business, in a job, they have the skills and the critical thinking, the problem solving, to be able to apply what they've learned here with any language. One of the reasons Java is good is because it does give them some exposure to object-oriented programming, which is a little bit different concept than anything they've seen thus far. So it does culminate in an AP exam. It is also in May, and half of the exam, 90 minutes, is spent on 40 multiple choice questions. And 40 questions in 90 minutes, they're pretty tough questions. It's pretty involved. And then the other half of the time, they're going to be handwriting code. There's 4 free response questions. There are 4 problems that the College Board created to test whether or not they can apply what they've learned about programming to specific problems. So part of the computer science pathway, all the computer science and business classes, is career tech service organization involvement. It's part of the standards for each one of our classes. And the CTSO that is associated with computer science and business is called FBLA, Future Business Leaders of America. And it's been very popular at Denmark High School. We've had 300 or 400 members ongoing. And our students have done very well. They're going to learn some soft skills. They're going to learn some presentation skills, business plan writing skills, some programming skills, and they have different competitions they can compete in. So they'll learn these skills, prepare the projects, and then actually compete at a regional, state, or national level. And we've had several national champions come out of Denmark High School. So they're doing a great job. In addition to this, it is a service organization. So they'll have opportunities for community service as well as local in-school service, which also looks good on college applications and resumes. And so in each of our classes, there are some supplies that students may or may not need and some costs involved. So in terms of supplies, we say something to write with in a paper. You might think, well, it's a computer science course. Why do we need paper? It's one of the things with AP classes, it is advanced placement and it's college level courses. And we really want them to be ready to go to Georgia Tech, to go to UGA, to go to some of these other schools and have some note-taking skills. Because with the lectures, they may be coming, the information is coming quickly, and learning the skills involved with taking notes is something very valuable. In addition to handwriting code. I mentioned that half of the APCSA exam, they're handwriting code, so they're going to need to practice that handwriting code. The USB jump drive, not so much as important nowadays. There are some students who still want to have them when they collaborate on projects, but a lot of it is online now, so they have that capability too. Headset or earbuds is a pretty good idea. Some of the curriculum we use has videos, and we may show some short videos in class, but if they want to rewatch something, it helps a lot to have a headset, wired headset or earbuds that go into the computer. And then finally, access to a computer and the internet away from school. Now, we don't give homework. We don't purposely look to assign homework. But often projects may take a little longer than the time they had in class. Or, and this happens more often, students get excited about a project. They want to keep working on it at home. And it's not a requirement to have a computer and internet. And with all the resources in Forsyth County, all the libraries have free computers and free internet access. So there's all kinds of resources out there students can use, but they may want to work on some work away from school. So in terms of cost of materials or CTSO involvement, the FBLA charges dues. They charge a state due and a national dues. And there's an expense involved with that, in addition to some of the certifications that we might print, some of the materials that we might need to print on the color printers and things for students, and some of the licensing for software we'd like to use that we need to pay for. So we collect a lab fee, $30 lab fee, and the due date is listed as this Friday, August 20th of 2021. But we're looking for $30, and it can be a check made out to Denmark High School or DHS, or it's even easier to pay on My Payments Plus. You can go out there and make a payment for that. It is suggested, it's not required. So we hope you do participate in that. I mentioned industry certifications briefly, but Denmark has 2 labs that are certified with Certiport, and we're allowed to use these labs to offer the same certifications you get at Pearson VUE or some of the other places down on the perimeter, but they're available to your students. And here's a partial list of some of what's available. I highly recommend that before they leave Denmark, they've done the Microsoft Office certifications. They can get Word or Excel or PowerPoint to a certain level, and they could be certified as a Microsoft Office Specialist Master. That goes on their resume, it goes on their applications, their college applications, it goes everywhere. It stays with them forever. They are certified then. In addition, after they finish APCSP, they could probably pass JavaScript, the intro to programming using JavaScript, possibly even Python. And then the big one is Software Development Fundamentals. It's listed on the top right. That is currently the industry certification, the credential of value, that the third-year students will be working toward and earning. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, so thank you for joining us tonight for Curriculum Night. All of us in the Computer Science Department at Denmark are really excited about this year, excited to teach your students. If you have any questions or concerns, we're always available to talk to you. Probably the best way to get a hold of us is through email, and then we could probably set up a call if necessary or a team meeting. So again, thank you and have a good night.
Thanks.
Thanks.